this morning. This morning I will be presenting a live demonstration of iStore. iStore is a new platform that we're launching that allows you to enter your own orders real time. It allows you to check price and availability as well and track your orders after inputting them in the system. So it's really a very cool new feature that we have. That way you can get answers and tracking and all that good stuff in real time without having to wait for our inside sales ladies. So my name is Leslie Lopez Giles. I am the order management team lead for ZEKS. So I manage Jessica, Noemi, and Claire. And I will be doing the presentation today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. So this is what the iStore landing page looks like. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And when you log in, it automatically takes you to this screen, which is the screen where you enter orders. But before we get to that, I'm going to show you your profile options. So if we go, actually, let's go home. This is what the home page looks like. It has quick links here on the right-hand side that allows you to visit your cart, your saved cards shopping list. It's just a quick access tool where you can click on this side instead of digging through all the menus up at the top. So we'll discuss what each of these categories is later on. So to begin, we can go to your profile. Here under profile and personal information, you have the ability to change your personal information. So if for some reason we misspelled your name, you can change that here, and your email address. If we go to preferences, you have the option to change the preferred format of your date. It's currently kind of in a European fashion with the day, month, year. You can change that to more Western times with month, day, year. You also can change your preferred time zone. I know some of us are in different time zones, so you can change that to customize it to where you are. So let's go back home. So with iStore, we have two ways of entering orders. One order is through the direct item, one method is through the direct item entry, and then the second one is called the upload function, which I will be showing you both ways. So let's start with the direct item entry. We would go to here where it says cart, the second menu option, and then direct item entry. And again, this is the screen that it brought us to when we first logged in. So when you log in yourself, you'll automatically be here. You won't have to navigate through the menu. So it asks you to put in the customer part number. We don't have to fill out this field. In fact, we only have to fill out the one that says item number with our ZEKS item numbers because it won't recognize the customer part number. So just make sure that you put in your part numbers here under item number. And here it'll say unit of measure, quantity, and the description of the item. So let's go ahead and put in some items here. I have a couple saved on my list. And we do ask that when you are entering orders in iStore, if you could disable your pop-up blocker, because I will demonstrate here what happens shortly that we need the pop-up blocker to be off. So I put in a few items. Once I've done that, I click on this button here in the top right-hand corner that says Fill Details. And that's just going to populate the description for me. So this is why we need the pop-up blocker disabled. So some of our ZEKS item numbers have a corporate number that matches to them. So the window will populate and say, hey, you put in this CCN, this number, this part number, did you mean this other part number that's the corporate match? So you would click yes, as long as you verify that the ZEKS part number is the same. You would click select here, and then just click select. In the case that you don't have your pop-up blocker disabled, it'll give you an error that says corporate item match found, and then the window won't populate for you and it won't allow you to move on to the next step. So now that we've clicked on fill details, as you can see, the unit of measure has been filled out, and then it also gives us our item description. Here for line 2, where we put in the ZEKS item number, but it had a corporate match, it tells us that. It says you put in 684383-SP, but it was replaced by 235-23467. So now that we verified that this is what we want, we can also change the quantities here if you need to after you fill details. So, but I'm not going to at this time. So once we verify this is what we want, we're going to select the boxes here on the left-hand side and click Add to Cart. So those are the items we want to add. Okay, so now we have added the items to our cart. This is what the shopping cart actively looks like. As you can see, it gives you a date that your cart expires. The reason for that is because the active cart stays in the system for about 30 days. So if you're in the middle of processing something, you have to come back later, you can. And it does also have the friendly reminder here that we require a minimum order of $75. But of course, that's not an issue with this order. So now here we have another opportunity to change the quantity if we need to. Before we move on to the next step, we can also delete a line if we need to. Here on the right-hand side, the little trash can. But if this is correct and this is what we want to order, we would go to checkout in the top right. Okay, so this is the first page of the checking out process. It's the shipping information page. Here we verify in the ship to, we verify our name as a distributor, our personal name, who we are, and then our address where we want the ship to go to. Just in case this isn't correct and you need to change it to a different address, you would click on select. And this will have all of the addresses that you've ever used in the system or that you've manually sent in a PO and we put it in the system for you. It'll show up here. So it has a feature that you can search for a particular address. So for example, let's do 1245. It'll bring up the address we were looking for. Just in case your address is not in there, you can have the ability to create your own address. So here at the bottom, kind of in the middle of the right side of the page, we click on Create Address. And it's pretty simple. You just have to fill out the required fields with the asterisks. The street number and address goes here in address line 1. But you will notice that there is a note that says, please note alternate name field should state the name of the company receiving the goods. So that's referring to the final customer. And as you'll notice, there's actually not an alternate name field on the page. So we do ask that you put the final customer's information here in address line 4. So put the final customer's name here, address line 4, please. And that way it'll populate correctly on the shipping label and in the system. Now, I did attach a training manual to the training invitation, so there is a helpful guide that you can follow along with or use at a later time. That way you don't have to stress out too much at this time about keeping detailed notes. All this information is in the training packet. So for this purpose, I'm not going to create an address, so I'm just going to click cancel, and it'll take me back to my address page. I'm just going to select the first one. I'll click select. So scrolling down, it'll ask me the shipping details. So first it asks the shipping method. If we want to do prepaid and add best way, here we have the option best way prepaid and add. And if you want to use collect, then we just ask that you select whatever account you're using. So for example, if you're doing UPS parcel ground, you would select that one. If you're doing collect, we do ask that you please include the carrier information here where it says shipping and packing instructions, the carrier information and contact information, and of course the collect account number here where it says collect account number. Now, because the system doesn't really have a way of telling us that you're indicating that you want collect automatically, we do ask that you place the order on an order assistance hold. So you see this that says order assistance and it has a box. We ask that you click the little box and write just a quick comment, please ship collect. What this does is automatically puts the order on hold when it's entered, and that way the inside sales ladies can take a look at your order, make sure the collect account information and everything is correct and fed over correctly, and release it so that it can ship. So if you could please do that for us, that'd be great. Going back to the shipping details, it also asks you the shipping priority. So it has standard priority or emergency. Those are the main two that we use. You don't have to worry about these other ones. Those are for other users in iStore. So let's say this one's standard priority. It asks us the customer request date, when do you need this by? And we do ask that you allow at least 2 days. So since today is the 2nd, let's put the 4th. And this is very important here. It asks you if you want to ship complete. If we want to make sure that if we want only one shipment, we click yes. That way we don't incur any unnecessary freight charges. So again, the ship complete option is here for yes, and we click yes. Something else that iStore has that's pretty useful is the ability to ship to multiple locations. So if you have multiple items in an order and you need one to go to you and one to go to the final customer, you can do that. There you'll see this that says ship to multiple locations, and there's a little blue arrow here, pretty small, that we can click on and it'll open a new page for us. So I just clicked on the blue arrow. It's loading. Okay, here we go. So everything else will stay the same. It'll just open this little window for shipping to multiple locations. What's pretty useful about this feature is that you can edit your order by the line level. So for example, earlier we said that this was a standard priority, but let's decide that the dryer is an emergency. We can change the shipment priority of just this one line to an emergency. And then we can also put a particular line on hold. So we can do that by clicking the box here. Let's say that you need to make sure the date of shipping for the dryer, you can just put it on hold and write a little comment. Please verify date before releasing. And again, the inside sales ladies will see this, and the first thing you enter your order, and they'll be able to review and get back to you with whatever your question was or your comment. Now we also have the ability to split the line. So if we had more than one item on the line level, we can split it into different lines. But because we only have one, it's not giving us the option. But if we did have the option, this would be blue. And then to update the shipping information, if we click on here, shipping details, it'll pop up the window of what we already have selected for that line. It's not popping up for me, I'm not sure why. But it will populate a window that's telling you what we already have as our shipping information. And if we need to change that, we would just click on select here on the left-hand side for whichever line we need it to. And then we would click on update shipping information above here. And it will take us to a different window where we can change the address for just that one line. It'll look pretty similar to what we did earlier, is changing the address for the whole order. It's the same process, it's just only for that one line. You would click on select and select whatever address you needed to go to. Let me go back. Then I didn't change anything, so I'm just going to click cancel and go back to my shopping cart. Do we have any questions so far? Feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions throughout. We don't have to wait till the end. Okay, so now that we verified everything is correct, our shipping details and our order assistance hold, oh, let's put that back on there. Please ship collect. We verify everything's correct, and then we can go to the next page. Here is the billing and payment page from the shopping cart. However, here we don't really need to do anything. You do have the opportunity again to review that all your information is correct, as the address, the customer name, your name. And then here we just put their purchase order number. So for this example, I'm going to do PO test. So I'm going to click next, and we're going to the review page now and place order page. Okay, so this is the last page that you'll see before you enter your order. At the top, and the first thing you'll see is the general terms and conditions of sale and the privacy statement. You're probably already familiar with those, but you can review them here as well. So you can, by clicking on these links, it'll bring it up for you. It is necessary for you to click that you agree to these statements before you can place your order, so it'll ask you to click the little box there. And then as we scroll down, we have the opportunity to verify our shipping information again. You can see the button says change here. We can see that we asked that we want UPS ground. We asked for it on March 4th. We did have a hold on there that it says to please ship collect, and it specifies to ship complete. Then we review our items and make sure everything's correct. Here you also have the opportunity to change the quantity. If for whatever reason you missed it on the beginning, you can change it here and then click recalculate, and it'll do it for you. So let me demonstrate. Say we want 3 of those, 3 of the kits. So now it's updated it for us without us having to go all the way back and making those changes. So you'll notice that the privacy statement is also at the bottom. You don't have to click both of them. They're exactly the same. So if you just click one of them, the other one will default. And then if you make sure everything's correct, we click on place order. It'll tell you not to move away from this page, and your order is placed. So it gives you the name of your PO, which you put in there, which is PO test, and the reference number. So now if we want to go look at our orders, we would just go to orders here in the middle, and it will show all of the orders that we've entered in the past few days. And it'll also show the tracking information. This is where you come to see the tracking information. So if we click on shipment details, it would populate your tracking information here, but because none of these orders have shipped yet, it doesn't have tracking information. Maybe, let's see if this one has it. Yes, so this one has already shipped, and here we go. Here's the shipment number. You can see a ship FedEx parcel ground, and here's the tracking number. So let's go back to order summary. So here where we come to see our orders, we can see that you can search your orders by order number, reference number, or your PO number. iStore keeps a record of pretty much all of the orders you've ever entered. So these search functionalities come in handy because you can search between certain dates, how many days ago. So just in case you can't find it automatically in your list, you can search for those. Do we have any questions so far? Okay, and again, we did attach a training manual, excuse me, a training manual to the training invitation itself, so all this information is there. So don't feel too stressed out about keeping very detailed notes at this time. So at the beginning of the training, I mentioned that there are 2 ways of entering an order with iStore. The second manner to do that is called the upload function. So this one really comes in handy whenever you have a very long order, you have many parts, and I will show you why in a moment. So we're going to go back to cart, and then we're going to go to direct item entry again, and in the top right hand corner you'll see this that says upload. I'm going to click on that. There is a template you have to download, so we'll click on download template and open it. And it looks like this. It's kind of like the direct item window. It looks kind of similar. So it asks you the customer number, the invoice number, which is the part number, the ZEKS part number, unit of measure, and the quantity. For this, you don't have to worry about column A and E. You only want to focus on column D, which is the ZEKS part number, and the quantity, which is F. So what's pretty cool about this feature is that you can fill out whatever part number you need in the quantity, and it'll input it into your shopping cart automatically. So let me show you. So we want 3 of these. 2 of these. Just 1 of these. Then you want to go ahead and save it. What's important about this document is that you save it as a CSV file. If not, the system won't be able to recognize it. iStore won't be able to open it. So then we go back to uploading that. It was this one. Click apply. And as we go back to the direct item entry, we see that it's already been populated for us. So that's a very cool feature whenever you have like a very extensive order, you can just use the Excel file and not have to type it in one by one here. So now that the items are here, we do have to click on fill details again. And then we just click on, make sure that it's selected, whichever ones we want, and click add to cart. And then the checkout process for the upload functionality is the exact same as the first time, so I won't go through that again. But I do want to show you there's other functionalities that iStore has that are pretty cool. So it does have, I mentioned earlier that you have the ability to check availability. So we have these items in our cart and we see actions here in the top right. One of them says check availability. It'll check the availability of the items in the cart. So let's click go. It's loading. Okay, here we go. So it seems that these will be available here in the next couple of weeks, March 11th, the 15th. And here you can change whatever date you need it to be by. So that's a pretty useful functionality that iStore has. Let's go back to the shopping cart. Under actions, there's the function of sharing a cart. So if your coworker also has an iStore account, you can share your cart with them. If you started an order and you need them to finish it, you can click on share cart and click on go. And you'll put in a cart name. You can use your PO number if you want. So let's do PO 123. So it asks you to name the cart, and then it asks you to add a member here in the top right. And here is where you will search a member's user name or by their first or last name. You can search them here. Because this is the training portion of iStore, we don't have any users here. But if your coworker has an iStore account, you can search them and share your cart with them. So a name would pop up, you would click on select and then click share. But for this functionality, we're going to cancel. So let's go back. So I did mention that a cart stays in the system for 30 days. If you needed to stay in the system saved for about longer, you do have the option to save the cart, which keeps the cart in the system for 90 days. So you would go to the drop down and click Save Cart and click Go. And you would just name your cart 123 and click Apply. And now the cart is saved and we can use it again for later. So if we go to cart and then we go to carts, we see that here it's saved and it doesn't expire until May 31st. So let's go back to the cart so I can continue to show you some other functions. Here it says update cart and we just have to click go so it can let us modify the cart again. Under actions, we have this other functionality that's also very time saving and very efficient. It's called the save to list. So if you, and then we're going to click go. If you have items that you order pretty routinely, so let's say every month you order this stock order, the same items every time, you can make a shopping list so that you have a list and you can just click it, add it to the cart, and you don't have to put in the items one by one. So it asks you to name the list. We're going to name it frequently used. And asks you for a comment. And then we can do items ordered every Monday. Just an example. You click apply. And now under cart shopping list, you see that here is your frequently used item list. So if we click on that, you see that you have the capability of editing it. So if you only need 2 of these items and the quantity needs to change, then you can do so here. And then you just click on add to cart or update quantity. So let's say we only want 2 of these. Let's update the quantity. And then we click on this and click on add to cart. And it should add it to our cart. There we go. Now it's included in our cart. And lastly, another functionality that's in here that we'll be using the most, it's attachments. You have the ability to attach maybe your PO if you need to, or if you'd like to, or any other kind of documentation. You can attach it by clicking on Actions, Attachments, and then clicking Go. And here is where you would click on Add Attachments, and it'll let you upload and include whatever you need to include. So let me go back to the shopping cart. Do we have any questions on the actions available? Okay, it's pretty user-friendly. So lastly, what I want to show you guys is we have a special price functionality that's in iStore. So if you ever have an additional discount that has been approved by your regional sales manager, you can put it into iStore and request that it be approved. So I'm going to show you how to do that.
Hey, Leslie, there
Yes.
was I'm sorry, there was a question in the chat. And
Okay.
The question was, when searching previous orders / POs, will it show only orders I've entered, or will I be able to see POs entered by others at my company? Will orders be retroactive or only orders entered into iStore?
That's a great question. It will only show the orders that you've entered into iStore, not the ones that other people have entered in the company. It'll only show yours. You can search, however, you can search for the orders that somebody else has put in. It won't automatically do it for you, but you can search it and see the tracking information or whatever you need for those orders as well. So, I hope that answers your question. And I'm sorry, I can't see the chat, so I didn't see the question. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, we're going to move on to the special price quote. We do so by going through the checkout process. So it asks us to fill this out again, like if it were a regular order. So we're going to do standard priority. We wanted Thursday. We can ship complete. Then we're going to go to next. Enter a PO number. And then click next. And then it takes us back to the review and place order page. Right before we enter the order, we don't want to enter the order yet. We want to ask for our special discount. So we're going to click on this that says quote request in the top right hand corner. It's also on the bottom right hand corner. It's identical, so you only have to click one, whichever you prefer. So let's click on quote request. And here you see the name of your cart again, cart 123, and it asks you comments. Why do you want a special discount, or what's the purpose of this? We're going to put please approve discount. Let's say approve 5% discount. Approve by Mark. Let's say Mark. It'll ask you who the salesperson is, but you don't need to complete anything here. Then we click on here on the three dots beside select line. And we select whichever lines we want to discount on. So let's say we want to discount on the kit and the drain. And we're going to click select. You can also do all of them if you like, of course. So then this window pops up that says assistant details. It'll ask you the reason for the discount. We're going to click on special price approval. Then it asks you for a special price code. We do ask that you please use the initials of whoever approved your discount and then the number of the percent. So for example, in this case, we said that it's Mark that approved the discount. So we're going to use his initials, MB, and 5 for the 5% discount. And then it'll ask you the requested price or the requested additional discount. You only have to fill out one of these and the other one fills out for you. So for example, this one we said that it was 5%. We're going to put 5 in here and click somewhere else. And then it automatically fills out the requested price at a discount. And then moving on here to the second line, we do the same thing. So special price approval. And then we click on, and this was approved by Mark at a 5%. The requested additional discount percentage is 5%. So it discounted it for us. And now that we make sure everything here is correct, we click on submit request. And it submits a quote to us. So what happens now is that myself or Chris Orsillo, depending on the percent, will approve the quote, review and approve the quote, and we convert it into an order. And then I send you an email with your order number saying, hey, your quote was approved and here's your order number. So here's your quote number if you ever need to reference it. It also stays in your quote history, so if you want to print it, you can, or you can continue shopping. But if you go to orders, if you go to cart and you click on quotes, here's the quote that you created and that you've already submitted. You can see it here. Okay, do we have any questions on the special price feature? Okay, let's go back to the home page. So again, I mentioned at the beginning of the training, but now it probably makes more sense. Here on the right-hand side, you can have these little quick links to view your shopping cart, view your saved cart, your shopping list, and quotes. That way you don't have to navigate through these menus up at the top to get to those things. It's a little quick access toolbar here. I do want to also mention that in the invite, we included the frequently asked questions document as well as a training packet. The frequently asked questions are also here in iStore. So if you click on help in the top, the last one in the top right, it'll take you to the frequently asked questions. So pretty much anything that you can think of. But if you have questions that are not here and you need assistance with iStore or login assistance, anything of that sort, we do ask that you contact us at the ZEKS Sales Region 1 inbox, highlighted here, Region 1 inbox. If you have questions, that way we can assist you. I monitor that box, so I'll get back to you either by email or give you a call, whichever method you prefer. In the training invite, we also included a parcel shipping method document. So let me flip it over. Oh, it won't flip for me. Okay, so this one shows what the shipping methods are and what they mean. So for example, that one that I had that said FedEx Parcel GND, it stands for, well, this one is IGND, it stands for FedEx International Ground. So whenever you see that and you have no idea what it means, here's the definitions and explanations. That way you can make the appropriate choice for your shipping method. And also the ZEKS dryer nomenclature has been included in the training invite, just in case you need that for a dryer. We'll go back home. Okay, and with that, I would open it up to questions to the group. Any questions or something I may have went through too fast?
Hey, Leslie, we got a question. How do we handle entering non-standard / custom dryers that have been quoted?
Okay, excellent question. Those are actually, and those you can send them through the inside sales representative still. You can send your PO to them and they'll enter it. Unfortunately, iStore doesn't have the option to enter configured dryers at this time. And I think it's worth mentioning that through the past training experiences, we've noticed that the issues or the topics that users have the most issues with or struggle with are with that pop-up blocker, that they'll get the error that says corporate match not found. That happens quite often, so we just want to make sure that our pop-up blocker is off, and then we refresh the page and try again, and then it should work. And then the quote functionality, that's a little difficult to remember, but that is in the training manual. It's actually step 13. So if you ever come across those issues, it's in the training manual, or you can reach out to me and then we can screen share if possible and I can walk you through it again. It's no problem at all.
And this is Chris here. We'll be sending you all your online credentials as well as a link to get to this site. We should be able to get that to you by week's end. We'll have we have another session this week on Wednesday, and then there's a little bit of time to push through some of the users that we've got signing up. We're signing up a bunch. So look for your online credentials to be emailed to you by around week's end.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning. I hope that you are as excited for iStore as we are, or that you become to be as excited as we are. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, or to me, through the ZEKS Region 1 email box. I'll give you a call or I'll email you, whichever method is preferred. Do you have any closing remarks, Chris? You could.
Nothing other than, as you've mentioned, we're excited to kind of put the power in your hands to be able to be more of a self-serve in this capacity than we've been. We live in an age of Amazon, and I find it fun tracking my package across the country. So being able to afford this sort of interface to our distributors is a little bit overdue. Certainly, we'll still have your inside sales representatives to assist you, but we feel that being able to enter your orders yourselves, being able to get tracking numbers, all from just punching a few buttons as opposed to having to connect with a person every time, will make your lives that much more efficient. So we are certainly excited, and as Leslie said, if anyone has any questions, there's ample mechanisms to reach back to us, and we'll be certain to get back to you to answer your questions.
All right. Well, I'll give you guys 15 minutes back if you don't have any questions. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.